What's up, North Iowa Bulls fans? Vinny Paracelli here on Bulls Weekly, your one-stop shop for all things North Iowa Bulls. This is the best time of the year. The hockey season is almost upon us. The Bulls kick off their 2016-17 campaign this weekend against the Peoria Mustangs. For those of you that have been with us from the beginning, you know how this show works. We get you highlights, analysis, interactions with all your favorite players. So definitely stay tuned each week. Every Thursday we'll have a new Bulls Weekly for you, previewing what's to come and recapping what has happened. With this being our first show, we have a bunch of new information to discuss with you. And first things first, as you can see behind me, there is no ice at the North Iowa Ice Arena. So the boys have been practicing up in Albert Lea, Minnesota. Speaking of the boys, there are a bunch of familiar faces, but there are also a lot of new guys throwing on the Bulls sweater for the first time this weekend. First, let's meet the returners. At the time of this taping, there are 10 players currently back from last season's Silver Cup Championship team, 6 forwards, 3 defensemen, and a goalie. Last year's NA3HL Rookie of the Year headlines the returning class. Barnes led the league in assists last season with 56. He also had 13 goals of his own. Let's take a look at the other forwards coming back. Owen Larson, Sean Maloney, Riley Meyer, David Min, and Mitch Parsons are back in North Iowa. Maloney led all returners with 15 goals. He also had 38 points. David Min racked up 35 points a season ago. He played defense primarily for the Bulls after his surgery mid-season, but now he is back on the offensive side of the puck. Owen Larson will look to improve on his numbers this year, as he'll now have a full season here in North Iowa. Mitch Parsons and Riley Meyer ended last season on a strong note and will look to carry that momentum into the new year. On the point, Eric Pye brings his rock-solid plus 51 back to the Bulls. He also contributed 16 points last season. It took Shane Bernhardtson 45 games to score a goal last year. This season he will look to increase that number as he has an increased role in the offense. Mike Lyons missed significant time last season with a knee injury, but the Illinois native says he's 100% and ready to get back to work. The lone goalie back for his second season in North Iowa is Zach St. John, mostly sitting last season behind NA3HL goaltender of the year Tommy Ahlgren and the almost undefeated David Johnson. St. John did shine in the short time he spent out on the ice. In his regular season appearances, Zach compiled a 5-0 record with the goals against average under 1. His .957 save percentage was incredible, and he also threw in 2 shutouts. A lot of new faces in the group this year, a lot of youth on this year's squad, a handful of 97s and 98s, and even a 99 in the case of Brendan Studioso. To go hand in hand with a bunch of new players, there are also a bunch of new teams in NA3HL this season. The league expanded from 34 to 48. The NA3EHL has been absorbed into the NA3HL and will now make up the new Northeast and Coastal divisions, which we will get into right now. For the Bulls, their division stays the same. We've got the La Crosse Freeze, Wisconsin Whalers, the Rochester IceHawks, and the Chicago Junior Bulldogs, who the Bulls will play their home opener against on September 30th. In the East, it's the team the Bulls defeated in the Silver Cup Championship, the Metro Jets. That division stays the same as well, with Pittsburgh, Southern Tier, Toledo, West Michigan, and Worcester all looking to dethrone the defending division champs. In the Frontier, it remains mostly the same as the Billings Bulls, Bozeman Ice Dogs, Gillette Wild, Glacier Nationals, Great Falls Americans, Helena Bighorns, and Yellowstone Quake are all still here, but the Missoula Junior Bruins enter that division this season, giving them 8 teams out in the mountains. The Midwest stays exactly the same with Cincinnati, Evansville, Nashville, Peoria, and St. Louis. Those last 2 teams the Bulls will take on in their first 2 weekends of play. The first of our 2 new divisions, and we'll start with the Coastal Division. That brings us the Cape Cod Islanders, the East Coast Minutemen, the LA Fighting Spirit, the Long Beach Sharks, Maine Wild, New England Stars, and the Northeast Generals. The South Division stays the same with the exception that the Sugarland Imperials are now the College Station Spirit. They'll join Atlanta, Euless, Louisiana, Point Mallard, and Texas in the South Division. The second of our 2 new divisions, the Northeast Division, includes the back-to-back champion Jersey Shore Wildcats of the NA3EHL. It also includes the Binghamton Junior Senators, the Lockport Express, which is just about a half hour away from my hometown in Niagara Falls, New York. We also have the Rock City Royals, Skyland Kings, and the Syracuse Stampede. Finally, the Old West Division that the Bulls dominated for a good number of years. Alexandria, Breezy Point, and Granite City we're all familiar with here in North Iowa. A couple minor changes to that division as the Twin Cities still have relocated to New Ulm, Minnesota, where they will remain the Steel, and the Minnesota Flying Aces are no more as they have moved to Wilmar, and they will be called the Warhawks. We don't know for sure how the league is planning for the playoffs. We're assuming that the 8 division playoff winners will meet in Romeoville, Illinois for the Silver Cup tournament at the end of the season. So we're pretty sure no more wild cards getting into the final tournament. Not too much preseason action for the Bulls these past couple of weeks. They had a special team scrimmage with the Sioux City Musketeers of the USHL on Sunday. That's been the extent of preseason play for North Iowa. The games this weekend against Peoria will be their first real games the team has played this year. Speaking of Peoria, let's take a look at the Mustangs. Peoria finished the season 31-12-3 before losing in the first round of the playoffs to the Nashville Junior Predators. The power play was just under 20% last season, and the PK was about 82%. The Mustangs returned 3 of their top 4 scorers from 2015-2016, including their point leader, Andrei Buchko, who tallied 23 goals to go with 44 assists. Austin Wisely led Peoria in goals with 35 in just 33 games played last year. He finished the year with 59 points. Thomas Kolaz also returns for the Mustangs, scoring 24 goals and adding 33 apples last season. So the Bulls kick off their 2016-17 campaign against the Peoria Mustangs this Saturday and Sunday on the road. Remember, the home opener is coming up September 30th against Chicago. The season ticket pickup day is September 26th. That's an all-day event where you can go pick up your season tickets and place your seat stickers in the barn. We've got a lot of great content planned for you this season, so be sure to check in every Thursday here on the Bulls YouTube and social media pages. Hope you enjoyed the show today. We hope to see you at the barn in just a few weeks. Until then, we'll have all your highlights, analysis, and plays of the week. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'm Vinny Paracelli. Go Bulls.